Hi everyone, it is Jo and I am doing my second video for the new channel for NMed. I want to start off talking about some really basic, introductory, fundamental concepts that are going to help us as we start to add the layers of that holistic approach. So the topic or the title of today's video is let's think about thoughts. So thoughts, fundamental human construct, something that makes us identifiably and uniquely human. We can assume that animals think, but we don't really know. All we can really measure or observe are their behaviors. So as far as the human experience goes, we like to think of language as one of those things that are uniquely human and that identify us and separate us from the animals. But let me ask you a question and see if you can answer this. What is a thought? Can you describe it? If you had to spend a moment now and explain what is a thought, what would you say? Would you say that thoughts are ideas, that they're memories, interpretations, suggestions, opinions, thoughts something that happened before an action? I don't know, how would you define thoughts? It's not an easy question, but at a neurological level, there are unconscious brain processes that are in place even before a thought happens. And really, at a neurological level, a thought is just a set of neurons firing with other neurons in particular patterns. Neurons firing with neurons. And the brain is an association machine. It pairs things and it learns through pairing. One stimulus gets paired with another stimulus, often enough that you get a thought, a thought repeated is actually a behavior. A behavior repeated becomes a habit, and a habit repeated long enough becomes part of our identity. So for instance, one time you might have a thought that I might like to try that drug. So you then engage in a behavior and you try the drug. You gain some sort of experience, it might be a pleasant experience, might be an experience that reduces stress, which is, still a pleasurable experience. So then you repeat that behavior, and then you repeat that behavior often enough that you become addicted psychologically or physically, and you now have a habit. After years and years and years of engaging in that habit, you now become, you now identify that original thought, those original behaviors as who you are. I am an addict. So somehow a brain process has transformed into a behavior into a habit, and the habit now is what you use to identify yourself. And I want to tell you that that is not who you are. If you do have a problem with drugs, and I mean this example could have been used in many different formats, food, shopping, anything, but you are not the behavior. So I'm going to do that in a separate video. But getting back to thoughts and what thoughts are. In psychology, we call them mental representations, which is a bit of a sticky definition really, because thoughts can be, moods or, even the perception of tinnitus. Now I am going to do some videos around tinnitus and dizziness and vertigo, but they're not necessarily concerned with representing. They're more akin to experiencing. So if you think of a mood, you don't think of it as a thought, you think of it as an experience. Similarly, with tinnitus, that ringing of the ears, you don't think of that as a thought, you think of it as an experience. But a thought isn't just a representation or an experience. It is something that we can also intentionally manipulate. For instance, imagine the number 3. And now rotate that 3 90 degrees counterclockwise. Trying to do this upside down for you, be back to front. But imagine the number 3, rotate it counterclockwise 90 degrees. Now place that rotated object on top of a letter V. Now there's your 3, there's your V. And you should have a thought of a heart. For many of you, this thought might trigger another thought, perhaps because we're coming into February, it's getting closer to Valentine's Day. But the idea is that a simple thought can be manipulated, can be modified, can then produce more thoughts too. So a thought isn't just a simple mental representation. Thoughts can also be very hard to control. They are almost automatic. So it's not something that you intentionally or conscientiously generate and stick to. For instance, don't think of a pink bunny right now with big floppy ears. Now, even if you're thinking about not thinking about a pink bunny, you're still thinking. And this is what we call metacognition, thinking about thinking. But thinking, all of these things that I'm, speaking to here is just really to get you to engage in some metacognition and to start thinking about thought and what it is, because thought is the essence, the fundamental basis of what sets us aside as human. And thoughts can be a double-edged sword. They can work for us or against us. And I want to show you how thoughts can manifest in your reality. So physical patterns of electricity are generated by neurons in the brain every time you think, and even before you think. This is energy, and it's energy that carries a certain frequency. Yes, we can measure the energy of your thoughts, the energy that your thoughts produce, and your thoughts emit a certain vibration out and into the world. So we know that the 100 billion or so neurons in our brains exchange up to thousands of electrical signals every second. But only a small part of that electrical activity gets generated as a conscious thought. So here it is. Here's the point I want to make. And I am referring to some notes here, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. But thoughts are a form of energy that carry a certain frequency and emit a vibration into the world. Depending on the thought, it will determine the level of that frequency and vibration. Also, speaking involves vibration. That's what sound is. When I speak, I am moving through my vocal cords, the stretchy flaps of skin in my throat that vibrate. They also vibrate and make a sound. I'm vibrating the air around me and moving that air past the vocal cords, which makes them vibrate, changes the environment around me, changes the sound waves, goes to your ears, and your brain makes meaning out of it. So sound is also the movement of energy. Sleep produces a different energy to the state of being awake, and we can measure this. If you've ever had a sleep study, you've had this done. There are delta, theta, alpha and beta states that we are in, and those states are determined by the frequency range that our brain is producing. For instance, if you are in a deep sleep, you are in the frequency range somewhere between 0.5 and 4 hertz, also called the delta state. If you're relaxed but alert and awake, then you are in the alpha state, producing somewhere between 8 hertz and 14 hertz. And all this stuff isn't relevant, but I do want to tell you about a beta state. The beta state is where you're highly alert and focused, and your frequency range then is somewhere between 14 and 30 hertz. So the purpose of this is to remind you that there is frequencies all around us, vibration all around us, and this is the essential fundamentals of what we are going to learn in the following videos. The other part of this is emotions also have frequencies that we can measure. And if you think of the word emotion, and what I'm talking about, movement and vibration and frequency, it's the emotion. It's about motion. So David R. Hawkins, he's an internationally renowned spiritual teacher. He's also a psychiatrist and physician and researcher. He wrote a book, a fabulous book about the vibrational states of being, and his book's called Power vs. Force, if you're ever interested. Fascinating book. And he produced a diagram of vibrational frequencies of corresponding emotion. And he mentions that 99% of the world's population is living at a contracted frequency, which he says is below 200. So the vast majority of humanity is either suffering or just getting by. And we see this, don't we? We see this every day. I see it in my practice. People are just getting by or in a state of suffering. But to live in flow, to live in love and in peace, you need to raise your vibration to match that of that which you choose to attract. So this is again a bit of a psychoeducation video. I want to take you further. I want to take you deeper into this and show you how you can raise your vibrational state, and that this is all grounded in evidence-based literature and experiments. This is all science. But we need to be aware, we need to be conscious of our environment, be conscious of the people that you're spending your time with, and let those who are not serving you, who are not helping you, or who are bringing you down go. If you're in toxic environments or you're around negative people, then their vibrational state is going to reduce yours, and it's going to bring you down. You need to also spend time in nature, the electromagnetic energy of the earth, which can rejuvenate us and replenish us. Walk barefoot, spend time with animals, move your body outside, keep that emotion in motion. And the vibrational state will start to increase too. Be mindful of your thoughts. Pay attention to the way you talk about yourself and others. Our mind is a narrator who doesn't stop. And things start with the thought. And as I mentioned, actually starts before that. But when it comes into our awareness, our consciousness, it starts with our thoughts. And our thoughts are producing energy. What do we do with those thoughts? We speak them. Our speech is producing energy and changing the frequency and vibrational state of our immediate environment. So thoughts become words, words then become behaviors, and behaviors become our reality. So you must be mindful of your thoughts. If you identify a behavior as who you are, I'm an addict, or I have a disease, or I am the disease. For instance, I'm working with someone who refers to herself as an anorexic. No, she has an eating disordered behavior, but she is not an anorexic. So you must not allow yourself to be identified with the behavior, and allow yourself to release, pardon me, the negative frequencies that you're holding on to. Have some fun. Bring out your inner child. Be spontaneous. Let go of judgment to release your fear of what other people are thinking. I mean, you think of kids, they're spontaneous. They don't think and overthink, they just do. And sometimes we need an appreciation of little things, to help you into a positive state of mind and to allow your vibrational state to rise. The next one, you might not like it, but it's stop complaining. Stop talking about what you don't have. Stop talking about other people. Stop talking about how you're not good enough. Focus that attention on radical action and let go of all these constant negative thoughts. Because if you are thinking negative, you're going to speak negative, you're going to behave negatively, you're going to attract negative, and reality will be negative. Change that negativity into a state of gratitude. Whatever you have, no matter how little it is, be grateful for it. There is always something that you can be grateful for. Being grateful allows you to raise your vibration and attract even better things into your life. And I'm going to show you later in some videos how your energy field actually changes through some tangible, evidence-based technology that I have. I will show you. But yes, your emotional state will change the vibrational field around you. Be grateful for everything that has happened in your life, even the negative things, because it's all happened to help bring you to where you are now. Whatever it is, find a blessing in it. Find something that you can be grateful for and love yourself. There is an African proverb that reads, "When there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do you no harm." Accept your worst self just as you accept your best self, and you will learn to love yourself more. And in doing this, your vibrational state will change. You have to also fuel your body right, and I will spend some time in videos talking about the right ingredients for your body, the importance of nutrition and the right diet and exercise. It seems basic stuff, but I'll talk to you about how food synthesizes in your body and can be a precursor to the actual neurochemicals that produce feel-good mood, like serotonin, Tryptophan is a precursor to serotonin, so we need to eat foods high in tryptophan so that our body can convert the tryptophan into serotonin. We don't need to rely on synthetic, artificial, pharmaceutical products. Everything that we need is here around us and available freely to us. And talking about free, everything I'm doing is free. So I don't profit from this. I'm not trying to profit from this. I'm not selling anything. This is just part of my journey. It's been a fantastic one. There's been a lot of pain and suffering that those who've been following my story probably know some of that. Probably don't know all of it, but I'm no different from anyone else. We have highs, we have lows, but we have to let go of the stories we've been telling ourselves. We have to let go of the victim role most of us are used to playing. Observe your thoughts. Instead of attaching emotions to them, let them go. They're just thoughts. They're just neurons firing. You don't have to do anything with them. Let them be like leaves in the wind. If you see a whole bunch of leaves coming down on a windy day, you can get out there trying to grab the leaves, shoving them in everywhere to hold on to them, or you can just notice them and let them pass. If you let them pass, you're not empowering them. You can grab the good ones, but let all those negative thoughts pass. Change your environment. Be mindful of who you listen to, what you eat, and who you are spending time with. Raise your vibration to live a more peaceful, loving, and grateful life, and you will find the benefits in your psychological and physical world. Where we start here today will change your reality, not in some weird way, in a very practical, science-based way, and you will gain control of your emotional and physical state. That's it for now. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've got lots more to come, but I want to wish you today, wherever you are, a happy and peace-filled day. Take care of yourself and see you next time. Bye-bye.